No one accepted the night to end like this. It began as a approved backward night interview. Laughs, music, alluring guest. But oral account of dispatches simulate the stage. Jennifer Lopez begin herself at the centermost of a brewing storm. Jimmy Kimmel, accepted for his acrimony and bitter humor, pushed boundaries she didn't acquisition funny, and she pushed her back harder. What absolutely happened on that stage? Why did Jimmy lose control? And how did Jennifer Lopez airing out? Not aloof undefeated, but added able than ever. The lights flared, the army erupted, and the bandage played her in. Jennifer Lopez, dressed in her blaze white jumpsuit, glided to simulate the set of Jimmy Kimmel Live. Like she endemic it. She called to the crowd, animated wide, her aspect calmly confident. The acclaim was deafening. Jimmy stood from abaft his desk, banishment to affable grin. Jennifer Lopez. Everyone, let's accord her a duke for actual yet edition cine flop. The army laughed awkwardly. Jennifer's eyes didn't blink. She sat bottom-ward gracefully, cutting her outfit, a fresh angry to him with a calm smile. Nice to see you, too, Jimmy. Still absorbing as ever. Jimmy chuckled, aptitude back. Oh, I'm aloof for baiting up. The accent was already off. She acquainted it. The admirers acquainted it. This wasn't the archetypal backward night welcome. Jimmy wasn't joking. He was jabbing. So, let's allocution about your movie, Atlas. Jimmy began. It's streaming, right? That's what we say now. Instead of, nobody paid to see it in theaters. A few affected action broadcast in the room. Jennifer didn't flinch. I'd rather bodies watch from their homes than not at all. Accessibility is an admirable thing. He nodded, smirking. Right. And critics are aloof blurred artists, too. I assumption they're advantage to opinions. I'm advantage to accumulate architecture things they'll never accept the adventuresomeness to try actuality, a agitator or try, she answered, eyes bound on him. That got an acclamation from the crowd. Jimmy aloft, his eyebrows hardly bent off guard. Huche, but he wasn't done. So, how do you do it? He asked, accurate mockingly earnest. You administer to brilliant in flops, absolution forgettable songs, date the aforementioned men twice, and still be a brand. The admirers gasped. Jennifer's ice smile vanished. Persistence, she replied coolly, and talent. Two things acrimony doesn't owning up. Jimmy's face twitched. Ouch. I anticipate we hit a nerve. She leaned forward, her articulation close but poised. You came for me afore we alike said hello. I'm aloof, authoritative, abiding. You don't balloon who you invited. The army animated loudly. Jimmy adapted his tie. I allure a lot of people. Best of them don't try to annex the show. Jennifer ag her head. A fresh maybe best of them weren't absorbing abundant to angle up for themselves. Blackout and a fresh applause. She had addled the allowance, and Jimmy Kimmel knew it. The acclaim from Jennifer's aftermost bandage was still campanology aback. Jimmy Kimmel affected a smile and confused his cue cards. He acutely hadn't accepted her to cast the activity so fast, and now he had to choose. Ease up or bifold down. He chose the latter. So Jimmy began with apish curiosity. What's it like to be a pop star, actress, adorableness mogul, and still somehow consistently in the tabloids added for your adulation activity than your work? The army gave a frayed chuckle. Jennifer didn't smile. What's it like? She attempted back. To sit above that board and try to accomplish a name off added people's lives. The admirers roared. Jimmy blinked. Oh, a peon. He approved, bouncing it off. I'm aloof, accomplishing my job. A fresh maybe do it better, Jennifer said smoothly. Try jokes, not jabs. Jimmy austere his throat. He wasn't acclimated to guests' acclamation aback this adamantine or this elegantly. Well, he muttered, accidental at the camera. You do accomplish it easy. I mean, aloof after most month, Vegas bells rumors. Really? Jennifer beyond one leg over the other, absolutely unfazed. You should try it sometime. Commitment, or at atomic accepting the facts right. OOF, Jimmy winced playfully. You absolutely came actuality to fight. I came actuality because your aggregation begged for this segment, she replied, access to the audience. And I said yes because I anticipation it would be fun. I didn't apprehend I'd accept to accompany Alma. The army laughed and clapped. Jimmy's face tightened. All right, he said, adopting both hands. Let's allocution about your new bark affliction line. Then, addition celebrity jumping into beauty. Must be a wash in there. Jennifer leaned forward. It's alone a wash for bodies who don't belong. Addition she. Addition beam of achievement in her eyes. Jimmy affected to author on his desk. Aloof curious. Do you anytime get annoyed of arresting yourself? Do you anytime get annoyed of advancing women on your show? She asked, her accent back heavier. The admirers fell silent. Jimmy sat up straighter. Now authority on. I don't attack. You undermine. She interrupted. You beam aback your afflictive and you accumulation antipathy as comedy. He narrowed his eyes. That's affluent advancing from addition who sells perfection. She looked anon at him. I advertise resilience. And no amount how abounding punchlines you bandy at me, I'll still be here. Jimmy blinked. The air in the flat was razor thin. Jennifer added, You capitalist show, Jimmy. I'm aloof giving you one you can't control. The admirers exploded. Applause, whistles, bodies standing. Jimmy Kimmel had been outmaneuvered again, and he hated every additional of it. Jimmy broke his pen adamantine to join the desk, the accent betraying his nerves. His beam was still corrective on, but above the eyes there was article else. Annoyance, maybe panic. The admirers had turned, and Jennifer Lopez had become the brilliant of not aloof the show, but the room. So, Jenny from the block fights back. Who? He smirked. Articulation assent a little. Didn't anticipate the Bronx came with a publicist. Jennifer ag her arch slowly. Intelligence and abundant chic not to adumbrate above sarcasm. The admirers murmured. Jimmy formed his eyes. You know, I've had A-listers on the show, actors, presidents, legends, and none of them anytime acquainted the charge to acclaim a back this much. Jennifer shrugged, bridged her arms. Maybe none of them were annoyed of actuality bargain to clickbait. He leaned in, eyes narrowing. So now I'm the botheration with your career. I didn't say that, she replied calmly. You aloof the latest answer in an allowance abounding of annoyed noise. That one hit. Jimmy looked bottomward at his notes, flipping an agenda unnecessarily. Tell me something, Jennifer, he said, articulation bottomward an octave. Do you anytime stop to think? Maybe the public's aloof over you. Gasps. Jennifer blinked already slowly. You beggarly the aforementioned accessible that fabricated this appearance trend. Because I'm here. The army erupted. Jimmy angry hardly read. Well, the numbers don't lie, but they don't aftermost either. Careers fade, adorableness fades. In bitterness, Jennifer airtight back. Doesn't age able-bodied either. The absolute allowance went silent. You know, Jimmy continued, his articulation harsher now. Some bodies anticipate you've congenital and authority on surface. Glamour, glitter, annihilation real. Jennifer leaned forward. You beggarly like this show? OOF. The admirers was on fire. Applause, screams. Alike the bandage at the aback smirked. Jimmy sat back, face tight. Is that what you came actuality for? To about face my flat into your soapbox? No, Jennifer said cautiously but firmly. I came actuality to be respected. But a back that wasn't on offer. I absolutely to booty control. Jimmy stood suddenly, the armchair squeaking abaft him. You apperceive what? I anticipate we're done here. Jennifer stood too, apathetic and steady. I agree. But the army didn't. They started chanting, J.Lo, J.Lo. Jimmy aloft a hand, aggravating to quiet them, but they weren't alert anymore. The moment was no best his. Jimmy stood durably abaft his desk, easily arresting the bend as if it were the alone affair befitting him upright. Jennifer Lopez remained calm, radiant, even, like a queen, airy by the anarchy advance about her. The audience, absolutely captivated, had angry this backward night ball appearance into article abroad entirely. A battlefield. Jimmy affected a smile for the camera. Well, folks, I assumption we've abstruse article tonight. Never a you edition on the appearance who thinks it's their show. Afraid ability outshine you. A mix of gasps and acclaim bouncing through the studio. Jimmy's smile vanished. All right, he snapped. You said your piece. You got your viral moment. Now sit bottomward or get out. Jennifer took a breath. You don't get to annoy me into silence. Not on a live TV. Not ever. He stepped out from abaft his board, now face to face with her. I'm not bullying. I'm hosting an appearance that's actuality hijacked by addition who thinks they are untouchable. She looked him beeline in the eye. No, Jimmy. I aloof debris to be your punching bag. And maybe your appearance wasn't able abundant to authority a absolute conversation. The admirers roared again. Jimmy angry to the crowd, his face red with anger. This isn't the View, all right? This is my set, my rules. And if you can't account them, afresh you can leave. Jennifer took a distinct address footfall aback gladly. But before she moved, she looked back at the camera. You know, I came actuality to allocution about music, about life, about love. Instead, I absolved into allurement bearded as comedy. And you admiration why women stop advancing to these shows. The flat froze. Jimmy barked. Security. It wasn't necessary. Jennifer had already amorphous walking against the bend of the set, arch high, unfazed. As she anesthetized the audience, they didn't boo. They acclaimed loudly, continuing ovation. Some alike shouted her name. Jimmy watched balmy as the camera followed her exit. Afresh he angry aback to the desk. You're welcome, Internet, he muttered. There's your headline. But the admirers didn't laugh. Not this time. By the time Jennifer Lopez stepped out of the flat doors and into the Los Angeles night, amusing media was already on fire. Clips from the battle had been uploaded mid-show. The hashtags had for J.Lo destroys Jimmy and #Kimmel accident were trending globally oral minutes. One fan posted, Jennifer Lopez didn't aloof airing out. She absolved over him. Meanwhile, central the building, anarchy brewed above the scenes. Jimmy stormed off date during the break, cursing beneath his animation while his producers accolade to administer the mess. The arrangement phones lit up. Executives accepted answers. You can't aloof bang edition off a live TV like that. One ambassador sighed nervously. I can back they annex my show. Jimmy attempted back. But alike he knew he'd absent control, and the internet wasn't on his side. Major account outlets jumped on the story. Headlines ambit from Jennifer Lopez stands her arena on Kimmel to allocution appearance host crosses the line. Clips aired on every account affairs from Good Morning America to BBC World News. Celebrities chimed in. Viola Davis tweeted, "That's how a queen handles boldness with address and power." Alike Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson reposted the blow with the caption, J.Lo 1, ego 0. Jimmy's blackout on the amount alone fueled speculation. A abrupt Instagram adventure he acquaint hours after apprehend simply, live TV, annihilation can happen. Jennifer, however, didn't break quiet. The abutting day, she appeared abbreviate video. No makeup, accidental hoodie, sunlight hitting her face. I didn't go on that appearance to fight, she said calmly. But I additionally didn't go to be belittled. Women, abnormally women of color, except being ambidextrous with bearded apology for too long. I stood up not aloof for me but for anybody watching whose anytime had their account questioned. The comments exploded with support. Fans, influencers, activists, alike above allocution appearance hosts accepted her candor. Afresh came the best abominable aberration of all. The arrangement appeared that Jimmy Kimmel Alive would be briefly abeyant for centralized review. It was unprecedented. Jennifer had absolved out of an adverse account and absolved beeline into history. What do you think? Did Jimmy Kimmel go too far, or did Jennifer Lopez artlessly debris to comedy along? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this isn't aloof about an allocution show. It's about power, respect, and what happens back edition days to action back. Don't balloon to like, subscribe, and hit that alarm for added belief that agitate up the screen. Because sometimes blackout isn't golden.